about time. We've been wanting you guys on the show for years. What's up, Paulie? Oh, no, we're hugging it out. Good to see you guys, man. Oh, we're hugging it. We're hugging it. We're going to go in. Thanks so much for being here, guys. This is awesome. Hey, what's up, Dan? Hey, you mind taking a quick picture of me and the Danettes? Just real quick. Just a quick picture. This is awesome. Thanks, Dan. Appreciate it, buddy. That's my good side, isn't it?
Nice.
Yeah.
Hey. All right, Harry, don't forget, you got a show to do.
Oh, live show? No script? What could possibly go wrong? To the jet! Thank you for being here. Friends, dignitaries, invited guests, and people that I made be here. Thank you for being here. It's Callaway Live. I'm Harry Arnett, and I cannot promise this enough. You know, and I make a lot of promises, and I run into you guys everywhere. You're like, hey, you promised this, and it didn't happen. But today, I'm going to under-promise and over-deliver. How's that sound? Okay. So here's my promise to each and every one of you and everybody watching. This is easily going to be the greatest 24 minutes ever put on non-linear broadcasting. You know the show is all about me. And tonight on Callaway Live, one of my idols. So much so that as he was walking around our office and he poked into our audio studio, he said, "This looks very familiar to me." And I said, "It should, because we ripped your show completely off." He's a legend in TV, sports media for 20-plus years. And I think I'm the only guy that he's my idol, because I used to listen to him when I was driving around the car in Atlanta when he was on the local affiliate 96 Rock, which was so long ago it's not even a rock station anymore. It's like Disney or something. He is the host of the, of course, Dan Patrick Show, which is everywhere. It's on satellite TV. It's nationally syndicated. He's also the host of Sports Jeopardy, and NFL Sunday Night Football, of course, on NBC. He has his own podcast here on Callaway Golf. He does birthday parties. Dan Patrick, there he is. How are you? Good to see you, bud. I was running out of all your stuff. Have a seat.
Thank you.
There's a camera here.
Thank you.
How do you do that? We've had a lot of people on the show, Dan. You're the first guy that brought his own cameraman, and you're the first guy that brought an entourage.
I know.
Which is great.
And you thought you were narcissistic. I mean,
It's great. We were watching on the back, and the Danettes came up on the monitor, and he goes, "Can you believe I hired those guys?"
Yeah.
These guys.
Out of all the people I could hire,
you could add anyone. You could add anyone you wanted.
There's nobody else in the world other than those four guys right there.
Yep. Oh, well, you know.
No, they think I'm being sincere here. Come on, that's a.
We'll add applause in later in post, so don't worry, fellas. Well, I used to listen to you so long ago that I had to have my beer stashed under my seat because I wasn't legal. Listening on 96 Rock.
Yeah.
And I feel like you knew even then you got to control your own destiny a little bit in that business.
How much caffeine have you had today?
All of it.
Okay. Okay. I just want, because I'm not matching your energy level here.
No, that's what I do.
You know, I get an IV here or something.
These guys are used to it.
Yes. Actually, it took a longer amount of time for me to realize how to control my own world, and it was listening to Howard Stern, where Stern had a group of people in his studio that worked for him, but he made them part of the show, and I thought I like that concept, and I broached my business partners and said, I'd like to put these guys on the air. And they're like, there's no way we're going to put those guys on the air. And I said, if they're not on the air, I don't want to do it. And we've been in it for 10 years now, and it works. And I'm glad that I took the time at ESPN, developed that, but this is the most fun I've ever had. But I wouldn't have done it. I wouldn't have had the courage to do it if I didn't hear Stern do it and realize how he did it and get personalities that you may not care about, but you'll care about them because I care about them, and try to bring out those personalities. So I was lucky at the right time with the right people.
Well, it's kind of inverted, too, because a lot of people that make it big on TV, they look at the radio thing as just sort of a necessary evil or maybe an offshoot. But you sort of left that world to concentrate solely on that enterprise, which I think is really different.
I still think radio is the best medium we have, because TV, if you're doing
it's
this...
good for these guys.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah. But with
McLovin is a great-looking guy, don't get me wrong, but...
They knew that we were coming down to something important, and that's how they got dressed.
I know.
They got dressed up.
I like it. Fritzy's got the same color as McLovin. McLovin's matching over here on Seaton's thread going through there, and Paulie's like, I'm not doing anything these guys are doing. I think it's perfect.
Here's your headline, though, Harry. Fritzy has underwear on today.
Thank you very much.
And he normally does it.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
He just normally does it. And I said, we're going to class it up a little bit, because I didn't want him swinging a club with another club, you know, like a dangling participle here. Yeah.
I like that you have standards.
Yes, yes.
It's got like standards.
He does the claw, you know, when he putts. He uses the grip there.
How do you feel the?
Wait, did we just take it the wrong direction there?
No, we'll go down that rabbit hole. Believe me, because
Okay.
we are also inspired by Stern, big time. But how do you feel like the show's evolved over that time period? Because if you listen to me as a listener for that whole time, I can see exactly what you're talking about, where your crew has become. Really, it's almost like I don't really even care who the interviews are that day. And sometimes I'm even like, oh, well, let's not have that guy on. Let me just listen to these guys.
Yeah. I think sometimes you have to put your ego to the side and not to put myself in the category with this person, but I understand what he did, and that's Seinfeld. Seinfeld wasn't the funniest guy on his own show. And I realized I was not going to be the funniest or most entertaining or interesting person, because people have heard my stories. But to have these guys willing to put themselves out there, take part in whatever we've asked them to do, that's where the show kind of came together. It's more of my vision of the show through my eyes, where they're involved in it. And it could be something as simple as, having fun with something. There's a wheel of punishment that you have to, do something stupid. Or it could be something serious where we get into great conversations there. But it's more of the day of, the moment of. It's not scripted. It's planned, it's just not scripted. And that was the feeling I wanted. It's 3 hours, it's a conversation. We talked, it could be music, it could be, movies, it could be a variety of things. And I think that those are my interests, and these guys take part in that as well.
Well, did you feel like when you were doing SportsCenter with Olbermann, and you guys really became your own pop cultural phenomenon, that in some ways that really limited your ability to kind of have that breadth of long form or not so scripted or kind of that freewheeling thing that you guys have on the DP show now?
But that was really where it started, because 70% of SportsCenter when I was with Keith was not scripted. It was our interpretation of the highlights and to have fun with those highlights. There's nobody who said you have to say it this way or you can't make fun of that guy or you can't have a catchphrase. We were doing free form when we probably shouldn't have been, but it was at night, and we thought, actually one night we thought, can we say something and our bosses will either call in or talk to us the next day? And then they didn't. And then we realized they were asleep. They weren't even watching us. So we got to the point where one of our bosses...
Your boss was not Chip Brewer.
Bob Eaton was one of our bosses, and he used to walk into the newsroom, and he had this high-pitched voice. He'd come out of his office, and he'd go, hello. And it used to drive us crazy that he would go, hello. And we go, hi, Bob, how are you? And then we'd make fake conversation. And then one night we went on the air, and a ball went through a shortstop's legs in Cleveland, and Olbermann goes, hello. And I thought, oh, my God, now we're in trouble. Now we're really in trouble. And then next morning, or next day, when we came in there, Bob came out of his office, hello. So we just continued to do it. He never knew that we were doing hello based on him when somebody would make an error.
So how did you guys form, you and Olbermann, that you got to have a lot of trust in your partner to sort of go through a completely freewheeling experience like that when you know that you have this thread of all these highlights, but you don't know what direction it's going to go?
He is the best person I ever worked with because there was ultimate trust. And you have to have it. It's live TV. It's an hour. We're ad-libbing, and you're in a bunker. You're in a foxhole, and you got to have somebody there, and the bullets are real. And so you got to make sure that if there's something you're not going to get, he can help you, and vice versa. There was a moment where we had. It was an intern, and she had started. She hadn't been doing highlights very long, and it was a September call-up for the Tigers. And I remember that it could have been bad because I would have, if I pronounced the name of what she wrote on the shot sheet with the highlights, it would have been bad. And I'm saying, Paulie, do you remember the name of that?
Can I say it?
Sure, yeah, well, yeah.
I'm not sure.
But it's a Tiger pitcher, and there was a sexual name attachment to his name almost, but it shouldn't have been there. And I kept going, that's not his name. It's not.
John.
No, it wasn't John. Not.
I can't remember.
No.
Yeah, it wasn't that. It wasn't that.
No, yeah, but John was a good player, though.
Yeah.
I don't think that was him. Yeah.
But so Keith is saying, no, that's not his name. It's not his name. And we're like, they're counting me down, 5, 4, 3. And I just have to trust Keith that I'm going to get this name right. And this girl who watched the whole game got this name wrong. And then I threw the name out and then got through the highlight. And then we got done. And I realized Keith had helped me, or I would have had one of those bloopers that would have stayed there forever.
Forever and ever.
Yeah,
and ever.
It would have been a greater story if I knew the freaking name of the
Yeah.
guy. Why do I have you guys if
Yeah.
you're not going to remember this stuff?
Yes. We're going to just take that little clip of Paulie saying that guy's name, and that'll be viral in and of itself if you'd like to.
Yeah.
But so then you go from, I think the elements that I really liked about SportsCenter and then was you guys really weren't trying to one-up each other necessarily. It never felt like, here's Dan, and now Keith's going to top Dan, and Dan's going to top him. It was a very, I would say, authentic treatment of the highlights, but in a really different way, which is exactly what I think of with the DP show.
Well, I worked with other anchors where it felt like there was competition. And with Keith, we never told each other what we were going to say. We didn't read each other's scripts. So I wanted to react in real time. It's the same thing with the camera crew. We wanted them to react because we didn't know if anybody was watching. This is mid-'90s. We had no idea if we were making any kind of impact. Management would not tell us. We showed up in TV Guide. It was the 10 shows you have to watch. And Keith and I were in TV Guide, and we're going, like, where people are watching here? Like, we didn't know that. That was the first time that it happened. But at that same time, I thought we were going to get fired because they said we were full of ourselves. And
were you?
I wanted to be.
Yeah.
I really wanted to be. I was too afraid. And we went into an office, and we were being yelled at by Bob Eaton, and he's pounding the desk, and he's ready to say goodbye, and he's banging on the desk, and I'm thinking at the time I had 3 kids, and I can't afford to get fired, and we walked out of that office, and I'm thinking, oh my God, what are we going to do? And Keith goes, F them. I go, what? F them. All right, F them. And we never looked back from there. We just said, all right, let's just plow ahead until they run out of patience with us.
And then you came to these guys.
Yes. Yes.
These fellows. And you guys had a little fun actually flying down here today.
Yep.
Which I think we're going to take a look at real quick to see how you guys roll on a day-to-day basis.
Well, we actually we were putting on the plane.
Yeah, that's normal.
Yeah. Well, you couldn't stand up, so it was, it wasn't great form.
You were going like Michelle Wee from like a year ago. With
she had that little putter, right?
Yeah, we should have sent you guys some little putters on there. Right? Speaking of little putters. Okay, well, let's take a look. We have some video.
That's a shot. That's a shot.
That was total shot. Total shot. Total shot.
No.
Total shot. Let's take a look.
I saw the break. Yeah. Come on. 5, please.
Now we're headed over to the test center, get some golf balls. Stoked.
I want to drive that's going to impress them. Yeah, that's the most important thing.
300 in the air is all you need.
Yeah. I'll take it with a win.
There we go. I'm so worried about missing it altogether. I would like just kind of chop at it and wouldn't go anywhere.
I'm watching the Danettes improve their swing. Either the clubs are great or the instructors are great. Somehow Fritzy is getting the ball airborne. That's the true test, because when I see these guys and where they were and where they are now, that says a whole lot about the clubs. We do want to thank the great folks at Callaway for putting up with us, their patience and expertise. It's why we love the relationship. The clubs are great, and they actually made the Danettes better. Go figure.
For 40 days and for 40 nights I was on his side. But who can stand with chasing a manhood, feelings and a plan? The candies are not my side. Woo-hoo!
All right. Thankfully. Welcome back to Callaway Live. Aaron Arnett, Dan Patrick, the Danettes. So secretly, we wanted you guys here and asked the Danettes, you guys want to come? And they're like, yeah, with the caveat that we want to flip the table on Dan a little bit.
Ooh.
And go a little rapid fire on a Dan and ask him some probing questions.
They're asking questions of me.
Yes, they're going to ask questions of you. So we're like, yeah, we're into that idea. If you guys are into that idea, as long as you wear underwear. And they're like, yeah, we'll do that. So here they are.
If the world of sports broadcasting shut its doors to you completely, what would Dan Patrick be doing for a living?
Ooh. He went total inside the actor studio on you, right?
A little bit.
Yeah.
I probably would be an interior decorator. And the sad part is, I'm telling the truth.
Oh, no.
I drive these guys crazy in the man cave. I drive them crazy. Like aesthetically, I'm touching everything
Anal retentive
in Callaway.
In there, like something's out of play. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like I complained, you have this whole display with golf balls, and I said it's displayed wrong. That like the name is under the ball and you can't see it. It should be above it. And I've gone into a museum and moved the picture in a museum. That's messed up, Harry.
That is messed up. That is messed up. I wouldn't have guessed that. You're not allowed back there, I assume.
It's the Louvre.
Yeah.
No.
Exactly.
But she was crooked.
She's crooked.
She's crooked. Yeah.
All right. Am I up?
Yes.
What is your favorite curse word? No, okay. If I told you the day you left ESPN that 10 years later you'd be on a private plane with 4 buddies coming here to Callaway, what would you have told me?
I wouldn't have believed it because when we first started, we were in my attic. We did the show out of my house.
That works out because most of our viewers are in their basements.
We can relate, and it brought us together. It's the best thing that ever happened is they would come to my house. My wife would be in her bathrobe cooking breakfast. The dogs are there. She's yelling at kids to get them out to school, and they'd come up the back staircase into the attic. And we'd do a national radio show, and McLovin came up and then never left.
Pretty true.
Yeah, but these guys took a chance, and I owed it to them, and I felt like I'd let them down that we were doing a show in my attic. And when we got the chance to partner with DirecTV and they put cameras in, we found a place right above the bar that I go to. Paulie was with me, and we built a man cave, and we put in 11 cameras, and it just was it happened. It was amazing. But that was the fun part to give, because they started out with as low as you could go, or as high as you could go in an attic, but we weren't, people said I made a big mistake. And I didn't want them to be embarrassed. If I lost the job, that's one thing, but they took a chance, and I wanted to make sure that I just never stopped until we got what we wanted. And we got what we wanted.
Yeah, does that give you a little bit of pride? I mean, I know there was a famous sports writer that said, "Oh, Dan Patrick is he's committing career suicide." This guy.
He said I was the Shelley Long of sportscasters because Shelley Long left Cheers, and I said no.
I was going to ask you if you remember that column. Apparently you do.
Yes. And by the way, where's Rick Riley now? What? What? Hold a grudge? What?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Dan, what is the best celebrity foursome you've been a part of?
Well, I've been in some threesomes, but not some.
I knew that was coming.
Look, well, no, I would have been the fourth. There's
Yes,
a
yes,
three,
yeah, right,
and
yes.
I see
Yeah,
what
yeah.
you guys went.
Yes.
Well, okay.
You play a lot of those things too. I see you kind of
A little
enjoying
bit.
yourself.
A
out.
little bit.
I mean, a couple a year, right?
No, not really.
You've played in one of those before, haven't you?
I played it. No, not really. I played at Pebble a couple of times in the Pebble Beach Pro-Am, but so do you wanted to know the best foursome?
Not including these guys.
Yeah, not including. Bill Murray was he wasn't as much fun as I thought he was going to be.
He takes it seriously,
Yes,
doesn't he? Yeah.
I had a putt of about a foot, and he said, "You're gonna putt that." I go, "Yeah, right." He goes, "No, you're gonna putt that." I go, "It's a foot." He goes, "No, we put him in the hole." I missed it. He goes, "See, that's why we put him."
Murray.
Bastard.
Murray.
Yes.
Who's the most fun guy that you can remember playing with that's sort of a household name?
Darius Rucker was a whole lot of fun. He's got a great laugh. He tells great stories. He was a whole lot of fun. John Daly. It started out well. It just by
a long
the end,
time on a golf course with John Daly.
It's way too long with John on a golf course because then like clothes start coming off and it's just like
Nobody needs to see that.
They do not.
Nobody needs to see that.
Yeah, so I don't know. I've been fortunate to have played with quite a few people, but it's more of those who love the game of golf and appreciate it and have fun with it. You know, that's always it makes it a great afternoon.
I think he punted on your question.
Yeah, I did.
Dan, I got a two-parter. Can you do a little golf announcer voice and throw it out to Peter Oosterhuis? And what's your favorite part about playing overseas, Ireland or elsewhere?
Okay, Peter Oosterhuis' nickname is it's Osterhaus, but his nickname is Oosty.
Oosty, correct.
So I don't understand that.
Yeah.
Should his nickname should be the same as his last name? Like Oosty is Oosterhuis, not Oost. See, that bothers me.
This is your OCD. This is your OCD coming into play here. Yeah.
I don't know if I could ever do the golf voice, though.
Did you ever do golf?
Because it would sound really creepy. Like it'd be like late night. Like I would always feel like, hey, baby, let's go out to 18.
I noticed your plant was out of place over there.
Yeah. Let's go out to.
But you never did golf at all the time at ESPN?
No. They would never let me do something like that. No, that's why that treat.
Yeah, they're like, let's get Berman to do that. He'll be great.
Yeah, come to think of it, my voice might have been a little better. I would have been a little more reserved than Chris was. But I complained to the Danettes. Like, I'd hate to live next to Jim Nantz. Because every frickin' time you go to his house, he would go, hello, friends.
Yeah.
Like, after a while, you go, Jim, I'm your neighbor. I don't, like, it's the hello, friends stuff or his doorbell. Hello, friends, come on in.
Get your dog out of my yard, you clown.
Hello, friends. Yeah. But I do appreciate the ability, the course whisperer, Roger Maltby, when he's out there and he's like that, I think is pretty interesting. I'd like to watch that happen. Faraday told me that he would always pass gas. Like he thought that was really funny to break the tension.
There are videos of those.
Oh, yeah. Like usually with Tiger, that he would do it.
Yeah.
And Faraday's probably the only guy that can get away with that. But there's a fascination with the golf announcers. And it's always, you got to call him Sir Nick Faldo. Like, come on.
I know.
Like, after a while.
I know.
Like, if you go have a beer, sir, do you want another beer?
Yeah, you do. You have to do that.
Do you?
Yeah, oh, yeah. And all the wait staff, everybody. I guess that comes with knighthood.
Yeah, but after a while. Like, come on.
No danger there.
No.
Well, what's next? What do you guys see? How do you keep innovating in the world that you're in? Because, you see there's so much turmoil now in the media, in the world of media. How do you keep on top and keep it relevant for your audience?
Well, I think you're seeing now it's about content. SportsCenter is not the same as it once was. And that's what I tell my guys. It's just about what we create here and then how people consume it, whether it's a podcast or it's a video that they download. Whatever it is, create something that is ours. And that's really, as we move forward with our partnership with AT&T, they're all about everybody's in the content business. Like, what do you have that's different from somebody else? And that's what I hope that we continue to build upon. But, I enjoy it. I don't know how much longer I do it, but I enjoy it. And I probably wouldn't have done it this long without these guys. Man, have I said some nice stuff about you guys.
But when AT&T announced that thing with Taylor Swift, who was the first one to ask if they could meet her?
McLovin.
Oh, it was?
Yeah. He got all geeked out when we found out that Taylor Swift was going to perform at Super Bowl. And he goes, I got to see Taylor Swift. Yeah. And then I go, okay. And then all of a sudden it was like, you got to see Taylor Swift. And he goes, no, my wife has to see Taylor Swift.
It was a last minute change. She couldn't come down.
Of course.
Yeah.
Well, we really appreciate you guys being here. We love the relationship, obviously, with the show. And can't wait to see what you guys have next on the horizon, because every day is different on your show, which is why we are not only fans of it, but it inspires us to do what we do here. So thanks so much.
But thank you for having a great product, because as I tell my guys, when you have something that is easy to sell, whether it's the driver, the golf ball, the irons, it's like a public service.
The wedges, the
Odyssey putter, the micro hinge insert.
Now. Yeah.
Okay, here we go.
Yeah. There we go.
Yeah. That's it. Good night, everybody.
That's St. Patrick, everybody.
See you
Thanks
later.
for watching Callaway Live and the Danettes. Thanks, guys, so much. We'll see you next time on the show. That was a high note. That's what we call leaving on a high note. Thanks, guys. That was awesome. Thank you.